Okay. 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 Steve, you stay for a late breakfast with Moshe. We'll discuss it with him. Okay, we're holding Tez Zayin. Page 311. Sarach Shiomar Orur Haman Baruch Mordechai. Right? We say, cursed is Haman, Baruch is Mordechai. Arur Zeresh, Brucha Esther. Cursed is Zeresh, blessed is Esther. Arurim Kol Ovdi Kol Chovim. Cursed are all the pagans. Bruchim Kol Yisrael. This is afterwards. This is not during the Megillah. So Shioma Gam Charvona Zochalatov. Charvona, he should be remembered for good. But who's Charvona? Charvona is the one that after Achashverosh said he found Haman falling on the bed, just take him out and have him hanged. So he says, by the way, there's a gallows which Haman has, which he had made for. It's ready to go. So because he mentioned that, Gan Charvona Zochalatov, he's also remembered for good. Question who Charvona was. It's not simple who he was. There's a question of whether he was Daniel, according to one opinion of the Gemara. Charvona was Daniel. Tezvat Zayin. No Mishna Berura on that. No. Zayin. He cites this. This is Beragola cite. The source for this is the Yerushalmi. It's Yerushalmi. It's not in the Bavli. Mini Kol Yisrael Shakore Kore Uposhit Ki Geras Laras Anes. That the reader, although the ones everybody may have their own Megillah, but the reader, the ones Motzi the Tzibur, he opens the Megillah and he folds it like a letter. Laharos Anes. Ukshiyigmar Chose V'Korcha Kula Mavorich. And when he completes the reading, he re-rolls it, and after he finishes rolls it, then there's a bracha which is said after the reading of Megillah. Kel Rav Srivenu, Don is Dinenu, right? And he's Motzei Tzibur with this. Hagoy Yeshekosvu Shenogin Lo Madal Psukim Shel Gula B'Kol Those, and that's the meaning Ashkenaz. We say 4 psukim which has relevance to Gula. What are they? Ishu Di Hoy B'Shushan Abiro, right? We say that out loud. Mordechai Yotzo, Luyidim Hoysa or V'Simcho, right? We say Luyidim Hoysa, Ki Mordechai Yehudi. Cheinogim B'Dinas Elu, and the Ramah writes that's the meaning in these regions. It's all Ashkenazic. V'Chazal Chosi V'Korosa. And after the people say it out loud, then the Chazal reads them. Od Koshinoga Tinokos Lotzur Tzuras Haman Aleitzim Vavonim. They create an image of Haman on wood or on stones. Olichtov Shem Haman Alein, and they write Haman's name on something, whatever it may be. Ulakosen Zelzeh Kedeshimoch Ishmo, and they bang it with his name to indicate his name should be obliterated. Al Derech Mocho Timche Zecher Amalek. V'Shem Risham Yirkav, pasuk in Mishlei, names of the evil should rot. This is this basis for the custom that when Haman's name is mentioned, everybody begins banging, making noise. He says no minog should be dismissed or to mock it, to deprecate it. There is a basis for it. The Meir Shiva once told me a story where Meir Simcha Gvinsk, who was the ultimate, person of genius, intellectual, and he was a widower later when he was older, and the button had fallen off his frock, of his kapota, and he was wearing the kapota and he was sewing his own button on. He had nowhere to sew the button on. Remember, I had no children. He had a child passed away, a daughter. He had no children, and since Rav Chaim Ozer had a daughter also passed away, they had no children. She died. She was a teenager, Rav Chaim Ozer. And so he was sewing his frock, and he had a piece of thread in his mouth. Because there's an expression in Yiddish, which David heard from his grandmother, that if you sew when you're wearing a garment, meneit arang de seichel. It's like you sew your brains. It actually could affect your intelligence. But if you keep a piece of thread in your mouth while you sew, you'll be unaffected. So he had a piece of thread in his mouth. He's talking about this, the going out door. You're into this superstition, like a wives' tale. So when he was sewing, another person came in, Tom Chochem, and he says to Rameir Sund, he says, I'm amazed. I mean, you're concerned for these wives' tales. It's a wives' tale. What do you have to thread in your mouth? So he told him, he says, there's a response from the Rajba, from the Chukas of Rajba. Anything which is taken on by Jewish people, by Klal Yisrael, it definitely is sourced in some Kabbalistic or whatever it is. So therefore you have no right to deprecate it or to make light of it. And since it's accepted that when you sew, you don't sew on, if you're wearing the garment, you take it off. And if you wear it, you put a piece of thread in your mouth, you can't just dismiss it. And that's the reason why I'm doing it. He quoted a Chuvas of Rajba, a response from the Rajba. He said that's the basis why I'm doing it. I don't know the reason why, but if it's a minog, you can't just dismiss a minog and make light of it. Wait one sec, forget about the bend. Okay, let's talk about, I don't want to get off course here. Okay. We'll talk about green shoes in a minute. Okay? So, I remember one of my daughters by a wedding, one of my kids' wedding, we had a dress made for her. And the woman, she came from the islands. The islands. She was from the Caribbean, black woman. And she was sewing, she was hemming it. So she says to my daughter, I'll hem it while you're wearing the dress. My daughter didn't want. She says, she says, not a problem. Just put a piece of thread in your mouth, and I'll hem it. So I said to her then, I said, where do you pick it? She says, well, in the islands, if we sewed on ourselves, we used to keep a piece of thread in our mouths. Because there were Jews out there, and many of them, they had slaves. And that's what I'm saying. Many of them, till today, I mean, there's some, they light Shabbos, not because they're Seventh-day Adventists. They light Shabbos candles. Certain customs they have because, it's been passed down in their families. Because as slaves and, they were Jewish slave owners, that's the way they conduct themselves. Yeah. So he says over here, the Ramah, this minig that we clap for Haman, we bang for Haman, he says, Ein levato shum minig, olilo golov. It should not be stopped, and it should not be mocked, deprecated. It wasn't just established for no reason. It's rooted in something of great value. Therefore, don't make light of it. Lag means mocked. Yeah, it's interesting. There's some shuls today, because they're interested in just getting it over with. They only allow them to bang by the last Haman. Okay. You understand? But he says over here, if minig is a minog, I mean, if it's out of hand, it's a different story. You can tell only to a certain point. But he says you can't. If the minig is to bang by every Haman, that's the minog. It's like there's a minog that by Ufruf, you throw candy or whatever it is. Some shuls, they don't want to dirty up the shul. They don't. I think by the Yakis. Yaakov, they throw in Washington Heights. Yeah. Okay. But because in Yakis, that's the minog. That's the minog. Whatever it is. Just saying. There's certain minhagim. Okay? The Gemara says in Subas that if you'd have a marriage, they would throw wheat. They would. Why? Because it's an indication of procreation. Wheat grows. So it's the staple of life. That is the beginning of the life. So that's the reason why they would throw wheat. In China, they throw rice, because that's their staple, whatever it is. Okay?
Used to be by Mishna Berura, so everybody would come up and they'd say name by name by name. Is it considered changing the minhag when we hold?
That's Tifchet Tzibur.
That's just the minhag.
Depends, unless it's the minhag. Unless it's the minhag. There's a Chuvas Chassam Sofer. There's a famous response from Chassam Sofer. I said it's famous if you know it. That, in Europe, they would sell, Yom Naram, they would sell the kibbudim, the aliyahs. And that money they would raise would support the community. So they would sell Kohen, and it was sold for a very large amount of money. Now a Kohen, there was a Kohen there, he didn't want to buy it. He says, look, I'm the only Kohen. You have to give it to me. You have a Torah obligation to give it to me. Therefore, something, and I'm not mochel, and I'm not walking out. I'm not walking out of the shul. So the Chassam Sofer ruled that since that's the minig in the community that has to be paid for, that overrides this person's demand that he wants the aliyah, he wants to leave, it's good advice he should leave. But he doesn't want to leave, he stays there, you give the aliyah, whoever buys it, he gets the aliyah. Because since that's a basis of covering the expenses of the community, and he's breaching that, you just ignore him. You don't even pay attention to him. That's the minhag. Also, there's a Ramah. This is more important than the Rendendel. Okay? The Ramah says in Chukas Pesach that, women, when it comes to preparing for Pesach, they really go, the men consider they go overboard. So the Ramah says, women, they wash down the walls. If Gabriel will be here, he tells me in Morocco they used to whitewash the walls. Every year, here they paint them. So the Ramah says, he'd say, what's the reason? He says, even though we don't understand why, but if women do that, you should not try to stop them and discourage them, because that's the minhag. And don't mock what they do. The Ramah in the Hilchos Pesach. That's in preparation. The Maril Diskin, the Shulek Diskin, she was so careful. The cat, Yerushalayim, they have cats, because that's how they solve the rodent problem. So she would put the cat, when it come in the house, she would put booties on it, not to track in anything from the outside, because she was concerned it could track in some chametz from outside the house. That's how careful she was with chametz. So one time her husband, the real Diskin, was more than just an ordinary gadol. I mean, he was a Kabbalist. He was everything. And her husband somehow allowed the cat in, which says, you make my whole house chametz here. I mean, that's the, But again, that's the minhag. If that's the way minhag always women conduct in themselves, that's the minhag. You shouldn't in any way criticize it or belittle it. That's fine, Nora. Yeah. By Sfardim, they're very into the garlic. The garlic, yeah. Ayin Hara. Salt over your shoulder. When? Okay. 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 If Home Depot would know about it, they'd sell more goggles. Protect your eyes. Okay. Okay, could we continue? What did you want to say? Afterwards. We sing, what's it called? No, afterwards. Shoshana Yaakov, afterwards. It's part of the song, but people have the minute, they say this. Or Hamid Baruch Mordechai, Arura Zeresh, Brucha Esther. Yeah, it's Shoshana Yaakov. But the others, Bruchim Yehudi, Arurim, Odi Kochovim, that's not. But he says that's the minute to say it.